I am at rest in this quiet hour. The rain sings upon the garden path like a lullaby meant only for me. My gown, soft against my skin, gathers gently at my ankles as I recline in the drawing room. Through the tall windows I behold the green expanse of Pemberley and all that blooms within it. The air is cool and sweet, with the scent of wet earth. Wild roses lean into the rain, as though listening. And there he stands, Mr. Darcy, his coat darkened by the downpour. His gaze fixed on me as though I were the only thing he ever sought. He has returned home to us, to this life we have built in love and in vow.
You appear as though painted into the day. I could not help but come to look upon you.
I smile because I am no longer waiting to be chosen. I am already beloved, already adored. This home, this man, this peace are mine. I have children now. Their laughter echoes in the halls like music. Their joy is woven into the very fabric of these walls. I am a mother, and still his muse, his rest, his reason.
You have made me more than I was. You have given me a world that is gentle.
The hearth flickers beside me. The tea beside my hand is still warm. There is no urgency, no striving. There is only time to be. I am kept in comfort, not merely by coin but by care, by presence, by promise. He has not yet come inside. He watches me still, like a man unwilling to part from the sight of his beloved. I remember this morning. He awoke before the sun and kissed my shoulder, as though reverence alone would rouse me. But he said little at breakfast. His brow was drawn, his silence heavy. I knew the cause. A man had arrived yesterday. A guest of my uncle, charming, smiling foolishly. Forward in his compliments toward me.
You laughed, and you looked at him as you once looked at me.
Mr. Darcy had said quietly later that evening. I could not help but smile then. For even in marriage, even with all we share, he still longs to be assured of my affection. My love, I had whispered, you are not merely looked at. You are known, you are chosen. And later that night his doubt dissolved in the firelight, in the fervour of his touch, in the way he took me not with haste but with certainty. His hands, his lips, his voice, all declarations far louder than any quarrel. We do not fight. We feel. We burn. And then we become still again. This too is love. Not always sweet, but always sure. Now I sip my tea once more. He steps finally through the doorway, his boots wet, his dark coat shedding droplets upon the floor. but he does not speak. He only comes to me silently, slowly. He kneels at my feet and takes my hand.
You are my every hour, my torment and my rest.
I smooth the rain from his hair and we stay there. The storm outside forgotten because peace has returned between us. Because he knows he is not merely loved. He is wanted. And I am held. Not just in arms, but in regard. In loyalty and devotion. We may travel. Next week he mentioned Bath or perhaps the coast. But truly I have no longing for any other place. When I have his gaze, his protection, his desire, and this home we now share. I am not only a wife, I am his beloved. I am not only admired, I am possessed. In the most tender, reverent way a woman may be. Every day he finds new ways to prove it. Through roses left on my dressing table. Through letters signed yours utterly. Through the way his fingers graze my waist as he passes me in the hall. He is not always easy, but neither am I. And still we return to one another as waves return to shore, without end. The rain still falls, though it softens now, like a secret whispered upon the glass. I see the wax-sealed letter he brought in. It rests unopened on the table, because nothing urgent lies within it. All that matters is here, in this quiet room with me. I am cherished in both word and deed, in how he studies me, in how he listens, in how he returns again and again to be near me.
Elizabeth, you are my calm, my very home.
I breathe deeply and know that I am safe, that I am treasured. My days are slow, filled with meaning. I do not toil. I do not chase. All I desire comes gently to me. The rain falls, but it does not touch me because I am held in warmth and in love. My life is not loud. It is not restless. It is quiet, precise, and full. I live in abundance of affection, of ease, of protection. I feel no lack, only gratitude, and the softness of being chosen, and chosen well. I am adored by a man of honor, of strength, of soul. He does not let a day pass without showing it.
You need not ask, for all I have is already yours.
He has changed his coat now. The damp one hangs near the fire, and he sits just beyond the threshold. In his armchair, book in hand, he reads. But I know he watches me still from the corner of his gaze. I stretch out again my legs, draped in pale linen, my fingers brushing the soft trim of my sleeve. This house, this moment, this quiet, is the life I once only imagined when I was a girl, wild with dreams. Now I live it, I breathe it. No noise, no worry, no proving, no chasing, only love. And the stillness he built around me.
Do you remember the first time I brought you here?
He asked me, earlier this morning, while we were still tangled in bedsheets and sun.
You said nothing for nearly an hour.
And I had smiled, because I remembered I was overwhelmed, not by grandeur, but by the feeling of being wanted. Not for wit or rebellion or novelty, but simply because he saw in me the woman he wished to share everything with. And he has everything, from his land to his name to the steady beating of his heart. He's given me it all and asked for nothing but my truth in return. Even now he is content just to be near. Our silences are never empty. Sometimes I think no man has ever adored a woman so patiently or so fiercely. I still remember once told me he hopes our daughters look just like me. And if we have sons, he prays they have my stubbornness, he teased.
That way, spend the rest of my life outnumbered and utterly content.
I'll spend the rest of my life outnumbered and utterly content. The teacup beside me has gone cool, but I do not mind. For this warmth comes from something deeper, truer. I'm not waiting for the next grand thing. The grandest thing has already happened. He chose me. I chose him. And now we build 1,000 quiet days on the strength of that choice. No titles could name it. No riches could surpass it. This is love. Not as a fever, but as a flame. It burns slow, and it never goes out. He has not moved from his chair, but I feel the air shift between us. There are silences, and then there are charged silences. This is the latter. I pretend to read the letter beside me, but my eyes keep wandering back to him. His hair is still damp from the rain. The sleeves of his shirt rolled ever so slightly, revealing forearms. I should not be admiring with such open hunger, and yet He notices.
You are staring.
He says quietly, not looking up from his book. I say nothing, but he knows me too well. He always does. My pulse betrays me, as it so often does when he is near, but not quite touching. He sets the book aside, slowly, deliberately, and stands. The floor creaks beneath his step. He doesn't rush, he never does. It's this quiet confidence, this stillness that unsettles me most. He could devour me with a word, and yet he waits. Lets me feel it. Build. I turn my head, pretending to gaze out at the rain-soaked garden, but really I am listening for his footsteps, waiting for that pause, right behind me. I feel him before I hear him. His presence wraps around me like the heat from the nearby fire.
Say it. Tell me what you were thinking just now.
I do not answer, because he already knows, and because my breath has caught in my chest. This is the game we play, one of glances and tension, and restraint held just long enough to make the release all the sweeter. His hand brushes the back of the chair, but not yet my skin. He leans closer.
You undo me every day, more than the last.
And with that, I am undone. Not by touch, not by kiss, but by words spoken in a room full of stormlight, in a house built on longing. He has given me everything, and yet when he looks at me like that, I feel I am the treasure. The desire in his gaze is never vulgar, never rushed. It is reverent, as though he is still surprised I am real, and I am his. And that is what makes my skin burn more than any flame, because love like this is sacred and wild, and never quiet for long. Even in the rain, even in the stillness. He is standing behind me now, but it feels as though the entire room shifts just from his nearness. His fingertips graze the edge of my shoulder, barely touching, and yet every breath inside me catches. It is always like this with him. No fire could warm me more than the quiet heat of his hand, settling lightly on the curve of my waist. I close my eyes and lean into him without a word, because in this house he reads my silence as fluently as any letter.
You are trembling.
I smile, faintly, but cannot speak.
Tell me, is it from the cold or from me?
My skin blooms with warmth from the gentlest touch from the reverent way he draws me back into him like I am something cherished, something delicate. He presses his forehead to the side of my head and exhales slowly like he has been holding his breath all day.
I love you in ways that frighten me, in ways that tame me and undo me.
His hands are at my waist now, pulling me closer until we are no longer two figures in the rainlight, but one. My back rests against his chest. His arms wrap around me, possessive but not harsh. He has never needed force when devotion lives in his every breath. The rain outside whispers on, but I barely hear it because his hand has found mine and brought it to his lips. His kiss slow, unhurried, like he is trying to memorize the shape of me. There is nothing rushed between us. No need to hurry. Something so timeless. He leads me to the velvet settee, not like a man taking, but like one offering. Offering warmth, closeness, the sacred space where I am allowed to be loved in stillness. He lowers himself beside me, his gaze fixed on mine, his fingers trailing slowly up my wrist to the curve of my arm, to the hollow at my collarbone until I am breathless. Without a single word spoken. And then his hand rests over my heart, steady, firm, as though to remind me this belongs to him and always has.
When I touch you, it is not merely desire, it is worship.
His lips find mine, tender, soulful, as though he is sealing a promise already made. And in that kiss I am not just his wife. I am his miracle, his comfort, his reason. I feel adored. I feel known. I feel claimed in the gentlest way a woman ever could. And I let it happen. I let love take its time. Because this is a slow kind of passion. One that burns through hours and lingers for days. The kind of love that leaves the heart bruised with devotion and glowing with peace. The fire has burned lower now, its light flickering across the walls, golden and quiet, and still he has not let me go. My head rests upon his chest, his fingers slowly brushing through my hair, as if he cannot stop touching me, as if he is still trying to believe that I am real. The rain has gentled outside, but inside these walls there is only warmth, and the soft afterglow of closeness. He had kissed me like a man returning home, like he had waited years to be allowed that kind of nearness. And I had let him in, completely without hesitation.
No words you could say could equal what I felt in your arms just now.
There was no rush, no shame, no noise, only the hush of silk, the breath of skin, the slow, reverent unfolding of a love long written and finally, fully claimed. I remember the way his hands explored me, not with hunger but with awe. The way his name fell from my lips like a prayer, and the way he held my face afterward, eyes locked on mine as if to say, "You are mine, entirely."
I have never loved gently, but with you I would learn.
Now we lie in the soft quiet of what passed between us, still tangled in the stillness, hearts beating close. Outside, the garden soaks in the rain, fresh, renewed, and so do I. This isn't merely romance. This is devotion. This is the kind of intimacy that writes itself across your skin and stays like a secret you carry forever. He presses one last kiss to my shoulder and sighs against my skin. And I know there will be no other, no safer place than here, in his arms, in his gaze, in this life we built. The dawn has barely touched the sky, yet the promise of morning lingers in his warmth. I trace the lines of his face in the soft half-light. Each shadow, each curve, a story I've come to know by heart. He stirs beside me, slow and deliberate, as if reluctant to break the spell that binds us. His eyes find mine, still heavy with sleep. And in that quiet gaze, I see the depth of 1,000 unspoken vows. There is a tenderness in his touch, a reverence that humbles me, as if I am both the treasure and the keeper of his soul. I lean into him, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath my palm, a rhythm that assures me, here, I am home. We speak without words, our silence threaded with understanding and hope. I am yours, I whisper. And it is no longer a promise, but a truth engraved on my very being. His fingers tighten gently in mine, and I am certain no storm or shadow could ever pull us apart. This is not fleeting passion. It is the steady flame of a love that endures, that strengthens, that grows. With him, I am unafraid. With him, I am whole. The world beyond these walls may shift and change, but this is ours, our sanctuary, our forever. His hand moves with quiet certainty, tracing the curve of my hip before sliding lower. Fingers glide over the softness of my thigh. The warmth of his touch ignites a slow fire within me, spreading like wildfire beneath my skin. I part willingly, breath hitching as his gaze holds mine. Deep intent, and full of an ache I've only just begun to understand. There's no rush, no haste. Only the deliberate, tender press of him slipping inside me. Firm and true. The world narrows until it is nothing but the heat of his body against mine. The steady, slow rhythm that grows between us with every movement. His hands anchor me, one settling possessively on my waist, the other cupping my face, his thumb brushing softly over my cheek. I reach up, fingers tangling in the dark curls at his nape, pulling him closer as I arch into him, seeking more of the delicious connection we share. Every movement is both fierce and gentle, a dance of passion and reverence that leaves me breathless. Our bodies speak in whispered gasps and tender moans, a language older than time itself. The fire between us is undeniable, a consuming blaze that melts away all restraint and fear. His lips trail over my skin, kisses soft yet urgent, down my neck, across my collarbone. A slow exploration that leaves me trembling. I respond in kind, pressing kisses to his chest. Feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath my lips, grounding me in this sacred moment. With every thrust, every gentle pull, we find a deeper harmony. Two souls intertwined, seeking not just pleasure, but a profound closeness that promises forever. I feel the tension building, the exquisite tightness of shared desire growing with every breath. Our bodies move faster now, driven by the primal need to be wholly known and held. And then, release. A shattering, breathtaking crescendo that leaves us both trembling, wrapped in the afterglow of something far greater than passion alone. He holds me close, skin against skin, whispering words that seep into my soul. With you, I have found my home. In that quiet aftermath, wrapped in his arms and the soft light of dawn, I know this is only the beginning of a lifetime written in touches, in whispered promises, and in the sacred fire we have kindled together. He lays his head lightly against my shoulder, his breath warm against the skin there. His lips find my arm, placing soft, lingering kisses that make the small hairs stand on end. I close my eyes and lean into him, feeling the steady rhythm of his heart against mine.
Do you remember how we rode across the fields that day? The wind caught your hair, and you laughed like you were free of the world.
I smile softly, opening my eyes to meet his gaze. Yes, I whisper. I felt alive, like nothing could touch me. He smiles then, a rare and tender expression that melts the distance between us.
I was proud to ride beside you. Though I was always trying to keep up, you made the horses seem like wild spirits tamed only by your will.
I laugh, a light sound that bubbles up from deep inside me. You flatter me, but you are the one who rides with such strength and grace. He kisses my arm again, slower this time, more deliberate.
I never realized how much I longed for moments like those, the days spent under the sun, for the simple joy of your company.
I shift slightly, turning to face him fully, our bodies still tangled in the quiet aftermath of our shared fire. There is a freedom in riding, I say softly, a rhythm to the movement of horse and rider that reminds me of the heartbeat we share. Steady, sure, and unyielding. His eyes darken with something fierce and tender.
With you, Elizabeth, I am learning every rhythm, every nuance. I know I can keep pace with your wild heart.
I reach out, fingers brushing through his hair, feeling the soft tension there. Then we shall ride together often, I promise. Across fields, through forests, beneath open skies. Free and unafraid. He nods, lips brushing my forehead. And in that moment, there is nothing but the quiet certainty of us. Two souls bound by love, trust, and the unspoken promise of all the days to come. We lie tangled in each other's arms, breath mingling, hearts slowing to the same quiet beat. His fingers trace lazy circles on my back, each touch a promise, a lullaby without words. My head rests against his chest, feeling the rise and fall of his steady breathing beneath my ear. The world outside blurs into nothing. Just the warmth of this moment, the softness of his skin against mine, and the quiet symphony of rain. I feel my eyelids grow heavy. The tension of the day melting away with every slow, steady breath. He presses a kiss to my temple. His voice a murmur in the dark.
Sleep now, Elizabeth. I am here.
And with that, the last conscious thought fades, replaced by the comfort of his arms, the gentle rhythm of the rain, and the quiet promise of tomorrow. Together we drift into the soft embrace of sleep, wrapped in the tender silence of love.